We're here today because there was an altercation that happened on a golf course recently. So let's jump right into it with the opening statement from the plaintiff.
So I'll be representing Kaylee as her lawyer and speaking for her. Our opening statement is that Kate, the defendant, when she started to walk off to the tee box, Kaylee had made a different route and walked a different way to the tee box. She passed Kate, but they had made eye contact. But after that, Kate had proceeded to tee off, and her shot had hit my client in the temple. So we are suing for negligence.
So during my practice swing and my actual swing, I was not aware of where Kaylee was. I did not see her when I looked in my path. And since I didn't see anyone in front of me, teed off, and I don't believe that I was negligent, as being hit by a ball while playing on a golf course is an inherent risk of the game.
Okay, so I'd like to hear the plaintiff's first argument, please.
Okay, so our first argument is that Kaylee and the defendant had made eye contact when Kaylee was near the golf clubs, checking her phone and getting her drink when at the golf clubs.
And to that I'll have to say that your claims as to when we made eye contact are inconsistent. First you said that we made eye contact when Kaylee was walking by me, and now you're saying that we made eye contact when she was by her clubs checking her phone, so that's just inconsistent.
And for your second argument?
So for our second argument, Kate or the defendant was being negligent because she failed to act in a reasonable manner for my client's safety, which resulted in a breach of duty.
Well, I did not know that Kaylee was in front of me. There was no breach of duty because had I known she was there, I would not have teed off, and I didn't know she was there.
Plaintiff, for your last and final argument.
For our last argument, we have come to the conclusion that Kate, the defendant, has caused my client serious disabling and permanent injuries to her head and eyesight.
While I recognize that Kaylee was seriously injured, I was not intentionally hitting the ball in her direction, therefore hurting her was not intentional in any way, shape, or form.
Alright, so now let's get into the defendant's argument.
Okay, so I have two arguments. The first one being that when I got up to the tee box, I checked the path directly in front of me where I was hitting during my practice swing. It was clear, and so then I took maybe 20 seconds or so to get my stance in place and mentally prepare myself to hit, and then I teed off without looking up at that point. I didn't know where Kaylee went to, didn't know where she was, I did not see her at all, so by positioning herself where she did, she was subjecting herself to the inherent risk of being hit by the ball.
So as a golfing partner, you had a standard of care to know where your partner was, and because of your actions, you caused injury to Kaylee, so you were negligent.
Okay, and your second argument, please?
I did not intentionally hit Kaylee with my shot. My shot was inadvertently pulled to the right, so again, it was not intentional.
Regardless of your intentions, you are still negligent due to the previous arguments that we just stated.
Okay, now I would like to hear the closing statements, starting off with the plaintiff.
Okay, so we believe that the defendant, Kate, was negligent because at some point eye contact was made, therefore the defense did know where the plaintiff was teeing off to at some point. Also, the defendant breached standard of care, resulting in the plaintiff's serious disabling and permanent injuries.
Okay, and now for your closing statement.
Well, as I kind of mentioned before, it's not clear when eye contact was made, so there's not really proof that I knew where Kaylee was, and I really was not aware of her whereabouts. And by stepping onto the golf course, she accepted the inherent risk of being hit with a golf ball. And additionally, she chose to stand in front of me while I teed off. My shot did not go where I intended, something that all golfers have experienced. And as a result, I was not negligent and should not owe anything to the plaintiff.